Hello, fifth graders. Happy Friday if you're watching this on Friday. I hope that you've had a great week despite the circumstances. And today I'm going to be teaching math and I'm going to be teaching you about histograms. But before I do so, up on the board is the practice book page on circle graphs, and you learned about circle graphs from Mrs. Ricard. So go ahead and take out your math supplies. So take out your practice pages, your homework page, your math textbook, and go ahead and open your math textbook to page 352 and have that ready for when we get to the lesson. Okay, so first check this practice book page, starting with number 1. And with a red pen or some kind of pen, please check. Okay, and I'm going to scroll it down. And again, if that was too fast, pause it, go back and check, and then press play when you're ready. Okay, and again, just like I said in my last math lesson, if you did not do the writing math, that is okay. But if you did, check. Okay, and now put that to the side and take out your homework. And also, I want to remind you that if you get stuck on Spiral Review, don't forget that you have your math books with you at home. So if you're not sure how to do something, go back to the chapter that it says and go through that lesson, or check your math notes from this year. Okay? And turn to the back. Okay, and 5 and 6 for any of you brave people who want to try out 5 and 6. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the lesson now. If you got any wrong and you're unsure of how or why you got them wrong, please let us know, email us. So we're happy to answer your questions if you're unsure. Okay, so again, put that to the side and take out your math notebook and let's write some notes. Okay, so this is chapter 16, lesson 5. And we're talking about histograms. Okay, so this is a graph that compares groupings. Okay, to be used when you have a lot of data. Okay. So I have a hockey team and I have their ages of their players listed. So what's going to happen is you're going to get a list and it's going to have numbers. See how many numbers I have? Okay, it's a lot of numbers. Okay, so you may be asking yourself, how can I graph all these numbers? So that's why I'm going to use a histogram, because I have so much data, and I'm going to use groupings. So in order to figure out those groupings, I need to look at the numbers and make a range of numbers. And I'm actually going to use what is called a frequency table. Okay, and that's exactly like it sounds. Okay, a table that shows how many times these numbers show up. So I'm going to use intervals or groupings. Frequency. So I'm going to make some ranges. So I'm going to find the smallest number, okay, 19, and I have 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I'm going to make an interval of 19 through 24. So how many times does 19 through 24 show up is what I'm going to look for. And then I'm going to do 25 to 30 and 31 to 36. And you'll see that when you have these ranges, I have 5 in each range. So I'm going to look for all of the ages 19 through 24. And as I'm going, I'm going to mark off on the numbers. So here I have 1. Okay, here I have 1. Here I have 1. Okay, here. And here. And here. Okay, so those are all of the people who have an age between 19 and 24. So how many is that? That's 12. So those ages show up in this group of players 12 times. I'm going to do the same thing for ages 25 through 30. Okay, so let's see. I have one here and one here. And I'm marking them off so that I don't get confused, because it would be really easy to try to do this and not mark them off and then be like, wait, where was I? Which ones have I done? And then you have to start over. You don't want to have to start over, okay? So here's another one. Here's one. Okay, so how many did I have? I only had 4 in that range. Okay. And now I'm going to look at what I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10. Okay, and these numbers here should add up to the number you have here. And if they don't, that means that you are missing one. So check that, okay? So now I'm going to take this table and I'm going to make my histogram. Okay. Okay, this should be looking very familiar to you. Okay, I'm gonna put the age here. And remember, on any of these graphs that you've learned this week, they all need labels. They all need labels and titles. So I'm also gonna title this hockey players. Okay, that's my title for this histogram. Okay, and on the side is number of players. Okay, so here I have the age, here I have the number of players, and I'm talking about hockey players. Okay, and all I'm going to do is now fill in this information. I'm just going to use my intervals for the age. So I'm going to say 19 through 24, 25 through 30, 31 through 36. Okay? And then I need to figure out what I'm going to do here. So what could I count by on the side? Okay. In your book, it counts by fours because 4, 10 and 12, they're all very close together. You could count by 2s if you wanted. You could, I think really just 4 and 2 is the best choices. Don't just put 0 through 12 because then you have this huge table and you're like, well, my table takes up half the room on my worksheet. Now I don't have any room. Okay, so I'm going to use 4 because that's what it uses in your book. Here's 0, 4, 8, 12, and I'm going to just put 16 just to even it out up there. You're not going to go to 16, but it's there just so you see where the table would keep going if you needed to. Okay, in my hand I have different color markers. It might be beneficial if you have different color pencils or something to help you see the difference. If you want to just use pencil, that's fine too. It's your notes, okay? Something about a histogram. The bars that we're going to do, they always connect next to each other. So I'm going to start with 19 through 24, and it had 12. So I'm going to go up to 12, and I'm going to make a box and color it in. Okay? Then I'm going to take a different color and do my 25 through 30, which is 4. Okay? And see how there's no space in between my 2 bars. They are right next to each other. Okay? And my last one is 10. Now, I don't have 10, so I have to kind of figure it out. So if I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 10 is in the middle. So I kind of just have to imagine that I've gone like this and go like this and then bring it down and then go like this. Okay? So in order to do this, it is a 2-step problem. I made my frequency table and then I made my histogram. Again, the last step that you should be doing is putting a title. Okay, what do you call it? If you're talking about the ages of all the kids in 5th grade, okay, well, I guess they would all be the same. How about the ages in 4th, 5th, and 6th? So then you have different ages, or maybe you're doing the whole school. You would use a histogram. Okay, you're not going to use a line graph. You're not going to use a circle graph. Remember that circle graphs are used mostly when we're talking about like our favorite things. Okay, in this class, whose favorite pizza or soda or whatever, that's what you use a circle graph for. But for a histogram, it's because you've got this large set of data and you're like, what do I do with it? You make a histogram, right? Okay, and you may be given a table like this and said, okay, what is the most frequent age? I can look at this and say 19 through 24. What is the least? 25 through 30, okay? I'll give you a few seconds to look at that. Remember that if anything didn't make sense, please send us an email so we can clarify. You are now going to take out your practice book page and you're going to do chapter 16, lesson 5, because it's Friday and you're on day 5. Okay, and your homework is pages 153, 154. Remember to label your histograms. Remember to do a frequency table. And remember that this is for large sets of data. If you have any questions, please let us know. Good luck, have fun. We'll see you later. Bye.